Week 12 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few wide receivers I look to drop this week. The first guy, Wan'Dale Robinson of the New York Giants. So Robinson had a nice breakout game in the Week 12 loss versus the Detroit Lions. But now it's come out that he's torn the ACL, and this Giant receiving core all season has been taking hits with injuries and stuff. So the last few games for Robinson, he had a little bit of a down few games. In Week 8 at Seattle, 2 catches, 15 yards. Week 10 versus Houston, 2 catches, 20 yards. And then Week 11, like I mentioned, he had a big ball game, 13 targets, 9 catches, 100 yards before tearing the ACL. So right here, he was a promising rookie for this Giant team. Hopefully recovers in time for the start of next season, and hopefully it's a speedy recovery. But even in keeper and dynasty leagues, he's not really a guy that was popping numbers off the chart. I know he had a few good ball games here with Robinson, but right now with the injury, and who knows how long it'll take him to recover from the injury here, he's a wide receiver I would drop this week. The next wide receiver I would look to drop this week's Marquez Valdes-Scantling of the Kansas City Chiefs. So Valdes-Scantling, it's the same old with him with this Chief team, just like it was with the Green Bay Packers. He'll have a good game, disappear for a few weeks, have another good game, and then maybe every other game he'll be doing decent. So the last couple games here for Valdes-Scantling: Week 9 versus Tennessee, 1 catch, 12 yards. Week 10 versus Jacksonville, 3 catches, 60 yards and a touchdown. And Week 11 at the Chargers, a catch for 18 yards. So right now, too inconsistent. A guy really can't trust. I know Kadarius Toney went down in this ball game as well. I know Mecole Hardman, he's on injured reserve for the next 4 games here. But Sky Moore looked pretty good in this ball game versus the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 11. And Valdes-Scantling, he's pretty much a deep ball threat or nothing for this Chief team. Even playing with a great talent like Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, he's just a guy I can't trust. He didn't do it. The same thing happened with a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers many seasons. And right now, he's just not a guy destined to trust week in and week out for fantasy owners. So right now, in my opinion, he's a wide receiver to drop this week. And the third and final wide receiver I would drop this week's Chase Claypool of the Chicago Bears. So I've mentioned Claypool over the last few weeks here as a drop. And this Bear team, it's pretty much obviously Cole Kmet will have a couple decent weeks, in Darnell Mooney in the passing game. And the rest is Montgomery or Justin Fields with his legs doing it. So over here, 3 games since he came to Chicago is Claypool. We've seen nothing from him. Week 9, in that one, 6 targets, 2 catches, 13 yards. Week 10 versus Detroit, a catch for 8 yards. And Week 11 at Atlanta in a plus matchup where they give up the most fantasy points to wide receivers on the season. Only 2 catches, 11 yards. So right now he's not fitting the scheme over there in Chicago. I know he was a great talent his rookie season with Ben Roethlisberger, but this season with quarterbacks like Mitchell Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and Justin Fields, who don't really target the receivers a lot in the passing game here, Chase Claypool just hasn't gotten it going this year. He's a receiver to drop, and he's got a tough matchup coming up as well at the Jets that give up the 5th least amount of fantasy points to receivers on the season. So it's a no-brainer, in my opinion, to drop Claypool this week. So that's a few wide receivers I look to drop here for Week 12 of the fantasy football season.